And on either side of the river was there a tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. Done. We did it. You can get rid of it. Finished. Fahrenheit. Done. The graphic novel. Well, we should hang on to it. We don't know if we're going to be able to get the presentations that we want to do in. We're going to set those aside. We're just going to talk about the end of the novel, reflections, and that's it. From here on out, we're going to jump into the choice novels. More on that later. Let's get into debriefing the end. I just read the last page, and if you did not recognize it or connect to the fact that on page 141, when Montag is asked by Granger if he wants to join their little band of rebels in the wilderness, he's asked what he has to offer, and he says, "Nothing. I had a part of the book of Ecclesiastes, and maybe a little of Revelation, but I haven't even that now," meaning he remembered it. Well, we don't know necessarily who is speaking on the last page because it's all done with captions, but it might be Montag, and it might be saying something about the end of the world, because if we take those words and we plug them in, well, that looks pretty familiar. Revelation chapter 22, verse 2. Down the middle of the great street of the city, on each side of the river, stood the tree of life, bearing 12 crops of fruit, yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree are for the healing of the nations. Speaking of the end of the world and healing the nations, did you see this? I happened to read that Vice President Pence says that we are setting the pace on remote learning. Look at that. You're a part of something. Let's go over the agenda for today. Today, as I said, you are going to be demonstrating comprehension of a graphic novel, and you're going to do some reflection on the themes of a text. You're going to find all this material in one assignment on Google Classroom. Before I leave the agenda, note that there's no homework. So what we noticed yesterday is many students were able to get through their work pretty quickly, so it makes sense to pop off some C-readers. This remote learning system is a great opportunity for you to use class time for C-readers. In the assignment, you are going to find a copy of this reading guide that has been made for you. It's different than the hard copy reading guide. There is no sketch because we're setting aside the graphic novel presentations. Let me show you what that looks like. So there are 6 questions. All I'm asking you to do is to move your homework questions from the piece of paper that you took home to this digital Google Doc so that I may grade it. So as you are working, this is independent work. You may not work with each other. Your answers should be entirely your own. The only text resource that you should be using is the graphic novel. So this is the only citation I would expect to see, if you have any citations at all. So do not be tempted by using other resources other than yourself, the text, or contacting me for your answers, because I don't want to see any citations, because all of these answers should be coming out of the graphic novel. The second thing that you're going to do today is, in celebration of being done with Fahrenheit 451, a bit of a celebration. This is a student-paced Pear Deck. I will put the code here big, but there should be a link that you can just click on the assignment in Google Classroom, and it will take you right in. It's student-paced, so just work through the interactive questions at your own speed. Okay, so tomorrow Mr. Gum will be checking in, and the next time that I work with you, we'll be talking about what we want to do with those choice novels. So if you haven't done that yet, that is also a student-paced Pear Deck, and you can work through that, explore some of the activities that I hope help you explore the themes of these novels that we are picking from, so that you make a choice that is one that you're interested in, because it looks like we will be starting reading at home. To that end, the size of our reading groups doesn't matter anymore. So if you want to make a book switch, I'm saying that you can. You have to let me know so that I can change who I have you assigned to, the text that I have you assigned. And then the other bit has to do with being at home, why we're at home, the safety of being at home. We're going to have to figure out how to get you a copy of a text if you decide to switch, or if you haven't had a chance to pick yet and you haven't got a book. You can get it from the high school library, but right now we're working out some directions as to how do you pick those things up, and you have to arrange for that. Those of you who work with other adults in the building who are your supports, they definitely would be a really good contact for this, because they can be your advocate and get that book to where it needs to go if you need that help. All right? So enjoy reflecting on the last pages of Fahrenheit 451 and reflecting on the novel as a whole, because you did it. You're done. See you soon.